Okay, so we have the awesome opportunity to be adding a website here to Google Search Console. So the way to be able to do that is go to search.google.com right up here. That's kind of where you'll go to be able to access this. By default, when you load a page, it should look a little bit more like this. Like you'll be greeted with this kind of a thing, assuming you don't have a website in here. If you already have websites in here, click on this bad boy, go to add property. It's going to give you a couple different options. One is to verify kind of the entire domain. This can be helpful because you'll get the HTTP, HTTPS, www version, and the naked URL without the www on it, all in one fell swoop, which can be advantageous. So we are going to do this for the All About You therapy. Therapy services, excuse me. Make sure you know the domain that you're actually going to. That is highly recommended. So go ahead and grab that URL and then you can add it in here. Now, when you're doing the domain version, it's actually going to ask you to kind of pull out some of these little slashes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this and go ahead and hit continue. Now, by default, it's gonna give you a few different ways that it wants you to be able to add it in there. Now, for our websites in particular, for our clients, we generally use Kinsta and we use Kinsta DNS, which is really, really cool. So if we go to kinsta.com and then sign in to our account, you can come over here to this left-hand side that says Kinsta DNS. So go ahead and find the particular one that you're looking for. All About You therapy services, very important. Go ahead and click into that. Now here you can kind of see all of these, what's called DNS records. Now these are important and these are valuable, but for this particular one, we're actually going to be adding a particular record, and that is going to verify the fact that we actually have access to the domain for Google Search Console. Because Google Search Console doesn't really want you to be adding these things in here unless you actually have access. So what we're going to do is it's going to say it wants you to add what's called a TXT record. That's a text record. So you'll hop into GoDaddy. And in this example, we're going to be hopping into Kinsta because that's where our domain name settings are managed for our websites. Go ahead and hit copy here to go and grab this verification code. So go ahead, hop back into Kinsta, add a DNS record, select TXT. You'll go ahead and you'll leave this empty. So you shouldn't need it to put anything here, and then paste that verification code in there. Go ahead and hit add DNS record. Done, looks like it's successful. Great, wonderful. Now it's going to take some time for this to do what's called, the term is called propagate, which means, sure, it's been added here to the back end of our website, but it might take a while for other places to recognize the fact that this record has been added. So just be aware this verification may not work immediately, but at least you'll have the chance to be able to do this method eventually. So come back in here. And then, yep, that's been added. I'm going to go ahead and hit verify, but there is a pretty big chance that it won't pick up on it yet. So just be aware of that. Go ahead and hit verify and let's see if it picks up on it. Oh, cool. It actually did work. So awesome. So now we'll go ahead and go to the property. And then boom, we've got it in here. So this is pretty awesome. Now, when you first add it, chances are it doesn't have like some of this information for us. So that's not way helpful. It would be awesome if we had access to this. If this has been verified before, there is a chance that it may have some historic information, but because this is kind of the first time I think this website has ever been added to Google Search Console, it may take a while for that to be able to show. So if we come and click in here into performance, it's completely empty. But other websites that have been active for a little bit longer will have information and data in here. So that's pretty awesome. The next thing we'll just need to do is go ahead and add the sitemap. So the way that can be done is we use often what's called Rank Math, which is a SEO plugin for WordPress, or you can do it using Yoast SEO. Either way can be a great way to do it. But you can do that just by accessing the back end of WordPress. Make sure that you're all signed in there, which I don't know if I have that, but let me see what I can do. Let's see. Okay, I don't have access to that right now, so I'll have to do that in a different video. But that's essentially how you would add that to Google Search Console. And then the next step would be to add the actual XML sitemap to the website, which generally, so once you get that all set up in the back end, it'll be something like sitemap underscore index.xml. And what this is going to be generally is going to be the sitemap of the sitemap. You can kind of see we don't have it set up in the back end of this website yet, but we do here for this particular website. So you can kind of see if I come here, this is the sitemap of sitemaps essentially. And we have their posts, their pages, their blog categories, and a couple other things in there. So that's kind of the next step there. So let me know if you have any questions.